A city in mourning. The Sydney Opera House dressed in black. The state's flags lowered to half-mast, and a country showing its solidarity. All 6 victims of Saturday's attack have now been identified, a male security guard and 5 female shoppers. Police are investigating why Joel Cauchi's violence seemed to target women.
It's obvious to me, it's obvious to detectives that seems to be an area of interest that the offender had focused on women and avoided the men.
In Toowoomba, in southern Queensland, the killer's distressed parents fronted the cameras.
This is a parent's absolute nightmare. We are just ordinary people who brought up our son as best we could. We did what we could for him. He got a degree.
Outside Bondi Junction, Westfield, a growing floral tribute has attracted mourners. From the Governor-General...
We used to shop here. This was a place you came along, brought the kids.
...to young mothers who saw themselves in 38-year-old victim Ashley Good.
You can't imagine what she would have gone through to give up her baby.
We're locals and we just want to pay our respects.
In the midst of the sadness, a glimmer of hope.
No doubt that our country has been holding its breath to see how the little baby, 9-month-old child, is going at Randwick Hospital. I was delighted to be informed that she's moved from critical to serious.
While strangers grieve publicly, victims' families mourn in private. A flag flying half-mast at the Bronte Surf Lifesaving Club, a silent tribute to its member Jade Young. The shopping centre is no longer a crime scene, but an investigation into the offender's movements and background could take weeks. A special coronial inquiry has also been announced, similar to one announced in the wake of the deadly Lindt Cafe siege almost 10 years ago.
Today I can announce up to $18 million will be immediately forwarded to the Coroner's Office in New South Wales to establish an independent coronial inquiry with full staff and resources.
The centre remains shut, with victims' families being given the option to walk through the site first.
To be able to come and pay their respects is an extremely important thing that we can do.
As some families make their way from overseas, it could be a number of days until trading resumes. Isabel Rowe, ABC News, Sydney.
A parent's torment over a deeply troubled son.
He was taken on medication because he was doing so well, but then he just took off to Brisbane.
State government agencies are combing their records for any contact Cauchi had with health or other services since arriving in New South Wales.
He came in contact with New South Wales Health the back end of last year for a physical ailment for his ear, and that is all.
Police say he was believed to be sleeping rough when he was moved on by officers last year.
There's nothing that we're aware of him in this state.
Detectives are still piecing together how the Bondi attack unfolded. After briefly entering the Westfield just after 3 o'clock on Saturday, Cauchi returned to the busy shopping centre around 3:20 p.m. On level 4, he attacked a number of people at Cotton On. Further along that level, more people were stabbed inside Tommy Hilfiger and at the cafe outside Country Road. Cauchi carried out another attack on the same level, but on the other side of the shopping centre, targeting people inside the Chanel store.
What I saw was crazy. Like it was just victim after victim.
At some point, he was confronted on the escalator near the Zara store by the man who held him off with a bollard.
I saw people running quite clearly in one direction, and behind them was a man with a knife running towards different people.
Police officer Inspector Amy Scott began to pursue him near the food court on level 5 before confronting him outside a clothing alteration store. She shot him dead around 25 minutes after the attack started. Joel Cauchi's father has been watching the footage of his son's final movements, looking for answers.
I'm prepared to do that because I love my son and I want to find out what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong, why he would do this.
Questions many are asking in the wake of such an atrocity. Sarah Geraghty, ABC News, Sydney.
Killed in the line of duty. That's how Faraz Taher will be remembered.
Someone doing their job has lost his life seeking to protect the community.
He's one of 2 security guards stabbed during Joel Cauchi's knife-wielding rampage at Bondi Junction on Saturday afternoon. Another, Taha Omar Khan, is in a stable condition at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. The incident has raised the question, how well equipped are security guards?
For unarmed security personnel to be dealing with somebody with an edged weapon like that, sadly they just had nothing else at their disposal, so they don't stand a chance.
He argues tools like capsicum sprays and batons could have helped that afternoon.
I think those in the stab-proof vests could have assisted with some different outcomes.
I've asked for an independent report on the current restrictions in relation to security guards at major crowded centres, in particular shopping centres and hospitals.
The CEO of Westfield's owner and operator Centre Group says the matter of security equipment will be part of a review process.
They are equipped with what they need to undertake their role in security, but it will be subject to a detailed review of what more can be done.
Several security guards across the industry have told the ABC that their standard equipment is usually a torch and a two-way radio. They're pleading for better training and protective gear.
It will make people feel more safe, but at the same time it also creates more anxiety, because when you're carrying around and you're seeing guys with weapons, you're nervous, you're even more nervous.
I don't think I feel safer, but why not? As long as they don't walk around, like G.I. Joe.
There's a knife, they can't do anything. I think that's the problem.
Security has been increased at other centres in the aftermath of the attack. Nabil Al-Nashar, ABC News, Sydney.
Let's go now to reporter Penny Timms at Circular Quay. Penny, the sales of the Opera House are tonight a focal point for those who've been reflecting on the events of the past few days.
That's right, Jeremy. This simple act of illuminating these cells of the Sydney Opera House is providing people with a chance to come together and reflect. What struck me the most about these last few days is the deep level of trauma people are feeling right across this city. People who I've spoken with say that they're devastated and they just can't understand why this has happened. And those who've gathered here this evening say they want to remember the 6 people killed on Saturday, as well as those who've been left injured both physically and mentally. And tonight, 7 people remain in hospital, including that 9-month-old baby. Jeremy?
Penny Timms reporting.